Detachment is really key for the sensitive person's guide to success in their relationships. Hi, my name is Leah Chantel. I've been helping sensitive people with their relationships for some time now, and today I'm talking about how can we detach in the best of ways to have the best relationships possible in our lives. And when I'm talking about detachment, many people misinterpret this to mean that they should not feel anything and they shouldn't care about anything, and that's a little too far. We are humans, we are going to feel things, we are going to be emotional. There are going to be times when we need our support system, and things are not going to work out smooth all the time. That's just an unrealistic expectation. But what we can do is detach from things that are just going to cause us pain over and over again. So I made a decision that when I get into a relationship with people, and other people might disagree with me on this, but hear me out. This works for me, is I don't Google or stalk anybody on social media that I am dating. I don't do any background checks on them. I don't look at anything. And the reason why is because once I know that stuff, then it's basically a reason to keep stalking and to keep looking, and it becomes like an unhealthy addiction. So I just have a discipline that I don't look unless I'm about to break up with the person. If I'm thinking about breaking up, then yeah, I'll look, because then if there's anything bad out there, it could be a good reason to break up. But I don't actually like stalking people online. I think it's really a bad thing that our society has created in terms of having everything visible and everything open about people, and it actually creates an unhealthy addiction to information. Now, having said that, if your friend or family member does Google the person you're dating and then they do have bad news about that person that they found online, then it's a good idea to pay attention to that. You don't want to get caught up in the addiction and look yourself, but you do want to listen and consider what you're going to do next in terms of right action for your relationships if there is something bad that's publicly available about your potential partner online. You also don't want to go too crazy though. So sometimes people will post like fake social media profiles or act like they're in a relationship, or even that they're married and about to have a baby when it's actually not true. And it's kind of like a tactic to make people a little bit crazy. I don't recommend doing it though. It's a really bad strategy, and people will get really angry with you and post stuff about you on the internet if you do things like that. But that's why information is such a double-edged sword, because people can really put whatever they want online. Clever people can delete stuff or change their names or do something to hide the fact that there's bad information published about them. So just take information with a grain of salt when you're getting to know new people. You really have to measure their behavior day by day and inch by inch to see like who they are as a person. That's actually a lot more important than any information that is online. So you can detach from that. The other thing you want to detach from are other people's expectations on you. If people are saying you're too old and you should be married by now according to the culture, it's not such a big problem in my culture. I think as Caucasian people, we just understand it's taking longer, and I think Asian people are coming to this realization as well. But there are other cultures that they are really pushing the marriage and the children like really early in life, and those cultures have got to realize that that's just not the way things work anymore in our society, and people are going to figure it out. Everybody's on the internet. Everybody can figure out what's happening. They can go to a public library if they don't have it at home, if they grew up without the internet or without cell phones. It's just a matter of time before people find their path and figure out what they want from life. And usually what people want is their freedom more than they want to get married or have children these days. And you can't really blame people, both men and women, for wanting that. It's a very normal thing to want freedom and to enjoy life. So why are we demonizing people who want to be single, or pressuring people to get into marriage or get into a relationship because they hit the age of 30 or 40? It's like, who cares? Just leave people alone and let them live their lives. And don't put that expectation on yourself. Just because a parent has that expectation for you does not mean you have to embody it as their daughter or their son. Just like men are pretty good about ignoring this. As women, we need to start ignoring it too, because it works against us. And when we're in relationships and getting to know men, they really hate it when we bring up this stuff like, oh, it's an expectation of my family that I'm supposed to get married, or my friends. And I have that difficulty in myself sometimes in my relationships. And I wonder about sharing my private life with friends and family that I know are going to lean traditional and put pressure on it to be a commitment. And I think to myself, it might actually be a good idea to just keep my private life private and don't tell anyone about my new partner, because then that takes pressure off him. It's wise, takes pressure off me. We can do whatever we feel like doing and go at our own pace without any interference from other people. Because it's one thing to learn the wisdom and learn how to have a healthy relationship yourself, but then the next pillar of challenge that you have to face is that you have to take people who are so unwise and don't understand the ways of the world in today's era, who want to put the pressure on for you to have children and have marriage. And you got to have boundaries around them, because they will kill your relationships that you have going on. They're like little green plants that easily can get stomped on by like the older generations or even younger generations that are conservative and don't understand the true dynamics of relationships these days because they're too naive. And it's your job as a sensitive person to protect your relationships anyway. So make sure other people are not interfering with your timeline on your relationship or telling you what to do. Protect it. Even if that means keeping it secret, that might be the wisest thing to do. Or feed as little information as possible to people who don't really understand your lifestyle or the choices you've made as a sensitive person to have a happy life. Just share as little as you need to share. And then both you and them will be happier. Sometimes ignorance is bliss, and that's the way to go.